Vashishthaya Dhodale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavati Pashyatya Deshatharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So March 18th is Gaura Purnima, appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we just finished Nityananda Trayodasi, appearance of Nityananda Prabhu, was Balram, and now the Supreme Lord himself. So it's going to be like so much of celebration in Mayapur, and since his birthplace, and we'll try to glorify Nimai, that is Sachimata's son. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as a golden avatar, so might be 10-15 minutes every day. We can little by little, his pastimes are unlimited, Chaitanya Charitamrita, but little by little, let's understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is and what was his baby pastimes and all the pastimes. Like Krishna, similarly, he also had so many pastimes. Most of us don't know about it, and because he's a Channa avatar, he's hidden character. So we'll start with this beautiful song, Sundar Bala Sachidulala. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, as the son of Sachimata. Sundar Bala Sachidulala Nachate Shri Hari Kirtan mein. Sundar Bala Sachidulala Nachate Shri Hari Kirtan mein. Bali Chandan Tilag Manohar, Bali Chandan Tilag Manohar, Alaka Shobhita Kolan mein. Shire Chudadar Shivale, Shire Chudadar Shivale, Vanapula Mala Hiya Pardole, Vanapula Mala Hiya Pardole, Pahirana Pita Padambara Shobhe, Pahirana Pita Padambara Shobhe, Nupura Runo Juno Charano mein. Radha Krishna एक तनु है, राधा कृष्णा एक तनु है, निधुवन बाजे बमशी बाजे, निधुवन बाजे बमशी बाजे, विश्व रूप की प्रभु जी साई, विश्व रूप की प्रभु जी साई, आओ ता प्रगट ही नदिया में, आओ ता प्रगट ही नदिया में, कोई गाता है राधा कृष्णा, कोई गाता है राधा कृष्णा, कोई गाता है हरि गुणगान, कोई गाता है हरि गुणगान, मंगल तन मृदंग रसाला, मंगल ताला मृदंग रसाला, बजाता है कोई रंगन में, सुंदर बाला सच्चिदुलाला, नाचते श्री हरि कीर्तन में. So it's about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance as Nimai. Prabhu, just say when my voice go low, some problem with my headphones. So you can start learning the bhajans before Gaur Purnima. It's glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. The beautiful darling son of Mata Sachi. Okay, so his mother was Sachi Mata, so he's called Sachinandan. So it is said, whoever chants Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, you get Krishna Prem just like that. Because when you say Yashodanandan, Krishna is so pleased. Similarly, when you say Sachinandan, Gauranga is so pleased. Okay, so Gauranga is dancing in the kirtan of Lord Hari's name, Hari Hari, Nachate Shri Hari Kirtan me. His forehead is adorned with sandalwood tilak and enchants everyone's mind as his beautiful locks of hair shine splendorously as they bounce upon his cheek. Mahaprabhu was so famous for his beauty, golden. Just imagine Radha Krishna combined, how beautiful they'll be. His hair is wrapped in a tap knot, and a garland of forest flowers sways upon his chest. Wearing brilliant yellow silken garments, he dances as anklet tinkle pleasingly and rhythmically. So the Lord likes, is Pitambaradari, he likes yellow. There's a reason why, because when he see yellow, he remembers Radharani. She's golden yellow, and she likes blue because it remembers Krishna. So Pitambaradari Krishna and Neelambaradari Radha. Shri Radha and Krishna, who dance together in the grooves of Niduvana with the flute, are combined together in one transcendental form. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. So don't think some temple, if you go to Vrindavan, you see there's Radha Krishna deity, along with that there's Gauranga. And we were like, huh? This Radha Krishna is there, and who's this standing as next to them? So that was Gauranga, because the mood is same. They are the one and the same. But you can't keep Nitai also with them, because Nityananda Prabhu is Balram, and Balram is never with Radha Krishna. When Radharani is there, Balram is not there. So we should not mix them. But then Radha Krishna and Gauranga, same. But most of them don't know. But whoever knows it, so fortunate to get the blessings of Nimai. So they have combined. In this form, the Lord of Vishwarupa has come and manifested himself in the town of Nadia. Some in that spectacular performance sing in the names of Radha and Krishna. Some glorify Lord Hari by praising his transcendental qualities, while others play reverently the auspicious rhythm of the sweet and very cheerful Ridanga drums. All this takes place. So this is about the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So since it is sound is low now, even now it's low, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
You're okay now. The sound is okay.
Initially was it low? Okay, might be like sometimes it happens. Okay, so we have like almost 8 classes, I think, before Gaur Purnima. That's what I saw. Some 8 classes, because before March 18 we'll have these Saturday Sundays as 8 classes. So little by little, 10 minutes I can just go on telling about his pastime. So Nimai, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Nadia and 500 years ago, and his name was Nimai. Okay, he was Nitai is Nityananda Prabhu, and Nimai, that's why Nimai Nitai or Gaur Nitai. If you say Gauranga, is another name is Gaur Hari. They have many names. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and then he was called Nimai by his mother. Why? Because he was born near a neem tree. So Neem, Nimai, the name came, and his grandfather, that is his maternal grandfather, Neelambar Chakravarti, named him as Vishwambar. So he was named as Vishwambar by Neelambar Chakravarti. And he predicted the son is going to be, because he had some signs that he is the Supreme Personality. So he knew a little bit about Vishwambar. So there are 3 external reasons and internal reasons why Mahaprabhu appeared. 3 external reasons is to spread Harinam. Then because Advaita Acharya cried and called for him to appear, and to deliver the fallen souls in Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, the Lord had to appear in every Yuga. So he came. That's the 3 external reason. Internal reason is he wanted to know the love of Radharani. Because in Dwapar Yuga, he was saying how much Radharani likes him and how much Radharani is enjoying the pastime. So he wanted to taste that love from Radharani. He wants to know the happiness which Radharani is enjoying, or the devotees, what the devotees are enjoying. So he came in a devotee form, and he wanted to know his own glories, how glorious he is. So to know that. Okay, so 3 external reasons, 3 internal reasons. So they are combined form. Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. He is the mood and the color of Radharani. That's why his golden color is called Gauranga. Radharani is Gaurangi. So it's Krishna, but in the mood of Radharani. So he's actually Radharani. So it's a little difficult to understand, but then we should understand that they are combined form, but his mood and the thoughts, everything is of Radharani. But he's Krishna himself. So he can understand what she is feeling. That's why he always cry from separation from Krishna. So sometimes they say Chaitanya Prabhu is embracing Jagannath. Both are Krishna. But the bhav is different. The mood is different. Okay. So Advaita Acharya prayed and cried to come to descend, and in the banks of Ganges, worshipping Shalagram Shila with Tulsi and Ganges water, he prayed, because people in Kali Yuga are so fallen. Krishna, you yourself have to come. And then the Lord appeared. So Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra were his parents. And they had 10 children actually. The first 8 children, they died. And the ninth one was Vishwaroop. Vishwaroop is supposed to be the expansion of Sankarshan. So Krishna expands to Balram, Balram to all the Chaturvyuhas. In that, you have Sankarshan. So Sankarshan was Vishwaroop, elder brother. And then 10th son was Nimai. So these are the parents, Sachimada and Jagannath Mishra. When you go to Mayapur, we went to this place where it was the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we saw these deities are there, Sachimada and Jagannath Mishra. You can see the baby Nimai on her lap. It's a very beautiful temple they have built, and the neem tree is there, okay, where near which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. And when he was born, all the Devi Devadas, they came to see the golden avatar of the Lord, the golden, because they never saw such an avatar of the Lord. And this was Sita Thakurani, who was Advaita Acharya's wife. They all came with lot of presents to see the beautiful form of the Lord. And Nimai had lot of silly pastimes, baby pastimes, where once one big snake came to his house and he was just playing with it, because it's Ananda Shesh and he's the Narayan himself, right? So he was playing and the snake coiled itself and then he lied on it. And everyone was like, what is Nimai doing? He's just a small child. But they wanted to save him. But then seeing they in distress, he can't see his devotees in distress. The Lord let the snake go. A lot of pastimes. He was also eating mud, like Krishna ate mud. He was also doing the same pastimes of eating mud. But here is a nice pastime, nice philosophy here. When he was eating the mud, his mother is like, you can't eat mud. So he's like, no, I have these pots in which I have food. Right? We take prasad in these pots those days. So I'm eating inside the pot. Why can't eat the pot? And then mother's like, the pots have, the mud is the same, earth is same, but they are used in different way. In quality, they are same, but so something like an Achintya Veda, Veda Tattvam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to convey to his mother that in quality they are same, but in quantity they are different. So the simultaneous oneness and difference, so he was trying to say that. And a small puppy came to his house and he took it and he tried to keep it at home, but mother didn't allow, because once you touch the puppy, you're supposed to be like the dog, you're supposed to be like not clean. So she let the puppy go. But then Nimai was so upset. But because he took the dog for some time, the dog chanted Hari Hari in the streets, and finally people saw that it was getting moksha, the soul was going back. So these are small little pastimes. Baby pastimes are more. I think every day, every Saturday, Sunday, we can hear like 10 minutes about Nimai's baby pastimes. And tomorrow we'll hear how two thieves came. No, tomorrow we'll discuss about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, because Monday is his appearance day and it's a fasting on Monday. Okay, so over to you. You can start your presentations. So before that, I like to just say about Murli Prabhu. So he's been my co-host for like 7-8 months, and I was always feeling bad that he's not for 16 rounds. And the Namanishta Prabhu met him in Bangalore, and he was like, very nice devotee. He's been doing so much service to your batch, very good. And he was so happy. But he was like, he's been in being co-host for you for like so many months, but then you were not able to uplift him to 16 rounds. And I was feeling really somewhere bad inside my heart, like why I could not do it. I mean, I know many devotees who came to me and personally told, because of you, somehow, because Krishna made me an instrument, they could come to 16 rounds. And I was always praying actually that. And then last 1 week, he's been chanting 16 rounds. Can we all say Hari Bol for him?
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Can all unmute?
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
So he's doing 16
Bol.
rounds. I was so happy. Let him continue. And I pray to Krishna that let him continue 16 rounds. It's a great achievement from my side also, and a great endeavor from his side. Let him continue, because he's doing a lot of service. So definitely Krishna has the mercy. So okay, so whom should I transfer the host to now?
Sarita Mataji, Dr. Sarita Mataji.
All the others are made host,
Yes.
co-host. Okay.
Mataji.
Sarita Mataji, just make me co-host and you can start your presentation. I'll just raise my hand. Okay.
Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, done. Okay, start.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes. I'll spotlight.
Everybody can see?
Yeah, I can see the whole
Is it
team.
visible?
Whole team is there on the screen. Very nice to see. Yes, Bandaji, it's visible. Over to you. You can start.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna everyone. Myself Sunita Arvind from BB4. Today my group is going to present chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. There are 14 questions and 8 participants. Question number 1 and 4 by Rakshita Mataji. She's a technical writer in Silicon, India, Bangalore, and she is a classical music teacher. And 2 and 3, question number 2 and 3 by Jyoti Mataji, who is a homemaker from Bhopal. And question number 5 and 6 by Nirupama Mataji, who is a professor and HOD Biochemistry Medical College, Odisha. And question number 7 by Gayatri Mataji. She is also a teacher from Bangalore, and she is from BB3. She joined our team to present one question. And question number 8 from Ganeshan Prabhuji, Kaushikan Ganeshan Prabhuji, is an entrepreneur from Coimbatore. Question number 9 and 10 from Sonia Mataji, and she is a school teacher who runs an academy for commerce students, and she is from Himachal Pradesh. And question number 11 and 12 by Sarita Mataji. She is a gynecologist from Dubai. And question number 13 and 14 by Anu Mataji, a school teacher from Delhi. And now over to Rakshita Mataji for the prayers. Hare Krishna, Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timiram Dasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First question. Draw the general principles relevant for the practice of pure devotional service from examples of Sri Narada Muni. Give references to Bhagavad Gita 9.2 verses and purport in your response. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. The principles relevant for the practice of pure devotional service. There are around eight principles. First one, Raja Vidyam. So a devotional service is transcendental. So whatever Krishna is narrating through Bhagavad Gita is transcendental knowledge because it's king of all education. Raja Guhyam, this is the most confidential knowledge, secret of all secrets. Pavitram, this is the purest form of knowledge. Pratyaksha, so this can be perceived directly. And Dharmyam, this is the highest perfection of religion. Susukam, devotional service can be joyfully performed. And Avyayam, it's everlasting. So this is a story. Narada Muni in his previous life was born in a son of a maidservant. So the maidservant was very poor. And fortunately, a set of Brahmanas arrived their place because it was Chaturmasa, and they lived there for 4 months. So they were all pure, elevated devotees of the Lord. And the boy's son, the boy's mother, that was the maidservant, used to go and serve the devotees there. So along with the mother, the child also used to go. And that's how we got association with the pure devotees. And pure devotees association creates magic. So he used to hear from them about Krishna, and gradually he was also he also developed taste for Harinam and Krishna devotional service. And just once with their permission, he happened to taste the prasad, the remnants of the bhog that the pure devotees had, and that cleared away all the sinful reactions of the small child, and he got elevated. He also became pure, and he started offering devotional service. And just before the Brahmanas left, they initiated the boy, and he started offering devotional service to the Lord. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Narada Muni, after getting initiated, he started chanting and he started offering devotional service. But fortunately or unfortunately, his mom, died, got bitten by a snake and died. So from there, his only caretaker was his mom, and he lost her. And so he completely surrendered to the Lord. So only source of protection for him was his mom. And she lost, she was lost, and he actually started surrendering to the Lord. For every little dependence was on the Lord. And then he traveled from place to place and started offering devotional service. And one day he was tired, he sat under a tree, and Paramatma appeared, Krishna appeared in the form of Paramatma and spoke to him, and then he disappeared. And then the child wanted to see Krishna again, but then Krishna told, you can see me just once, I appeared just to motivate you. So that became the motivation for the child, and he was rigorously offering devotional service. After he left the body, he got the spiritual body, the form of Narada Muni, and he is free to travel to any planets without any permission. He can just go and chant the glories of the Lord. He's initiated numerous devotees, and so Hare Krishna. So how are these principles relevant in Narada Muni's story? Pratyaksha. So devotional service, he just saw the devotees, the child just saw the devotees offering devotional service, and he also started engaging in devotional service. So directly perceived. So devotional service is something which you can directly perceive and get enlightened without a doubt. And dharmyam, this is the highest perfection of religion. How? Through devotion, association with pure devotees. He also happened to associate devotees and then attain the highest perfection of religion. This is purest form of knowledge. Like we all know, the child lost his mom, but then he was on the transcendental platform, so he was not affected by the material modes of nature. So he never lamented or anything. He just said, this is Krishna's special mercy upon me, and he continued with his devotional service. Hare Krishna. Susukham, this is joyfully performed. As we all know, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. So you can simply sit in a place, hear about the Lord, sing about the Lord, speak about the Lord. If you're tired, eat prasad, and then that's all. That's devotional service. So it's very simple and joyfully performed. And Avyayam, it's everlasting. So if you see, Narada Muni's actual devotional service started when he gave up his previous body and took the spiritual body. So actual devotional service continues even after liberation, because devotional service is something which is eternal. Hare Krishna. Rajaguhyam, yes. This is the most. So once you attain the state, when you attain a particular stage in devotional service, that's when you start understanding the confidential pastimes of the Lord. And this is also confirmed. That when it is also confirmed that when one becomes purified by executing the process of devotional service, especially by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from realized souls, then he can understand the science of Krishna. Because you need to attain a stage, you need to develop a taste to a certain extent to understand the confidential pastimes of the Lord. That's why 10th canto has Krishna's confidential pastimes, not in the first canto. And transcendental, this is most confidential. What exactly we need to understand here is that soul is not the body. We are not the body, we are the soul. So devotional service is an activity of the soul. So it's eternal, and the activities of the spirit soul are therefore indicated here as constituting the king of all knowledge, the most confidential part of all knowledge, because it continues. It is, even when you go to the spiritual abode, you don't sit in one place. You continuously offer devotional service there. You don't merge with the impersonal, Brahma Jyoti of the Lord. Over to Lalita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. My question is, explain in your own words Krishna's relationship with material world with reference to Sanskrit terms and Prabhupada's purports and analogies given in Bhagavad Gita 9.4 to 9.10. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 deals with the most confidential knowledge, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yogonam, which Lord Krishna shared with his friend Arjuna. This entire universe is created by Supreme Lord. So the material world, which is a small part of this universe too, is created and controlled by Supreme Lord. All energies of Lord are Guna Paripurna. Supreme Lord's energy is divided into three parts. Internal energy is the spiritual energy which is eternal and full of knowledge and happiness. External energy is the source of material energy. Material energy consists of matter. This energy is temporary and full of ignorance. Marginal energy, finite spirits are expansion of Lord's marginal energy. Material world is an expansion of Supreme Lord's energy. Supreme Lord pervades in the entire material creation by his plenary part known as Paramatma or Super Soul. Material world is the creation of Lord's external potency. Brahma is the first living creature in this material world born on a lotus flower that sprouted from Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, the collective super souls of all living entities known as Mahat Tattva. Mahavishnu creates the total material energy. He is present even in the smallest of small atom. Terms used in Bhagavad Gita 9.4 to 9.10. First is Premanjana, Acharita Bhakti Vilochanena Santaha. If one has pure love and devotion for Supreme Lord, one can see Lord within self and also outside, that is in other living entities and surroundings. Second is Abhyakta Murtina. Lord is present everywhere, all pervading, but cannot be seen or felt by material senses. Example, just as sunshine is spread everywhere in the universe, similarly, Lord's energy, whether it is spiritual, marginal, or material energy, it is spread all over the creation. Everything in this universe is resting in that energy. Vistapyam idam kritsnam. Lord, by diffusion of his energies, is present everywhere. He is omnipotent. To protect Prahalad, he came out of a pillar and killed Hiranyakashipu. Fourth is Matstani Sarva Bhutani. The whole universe is resting in Lord, but still Lord is aloof. He is separate. Fifth, Yujyate Neni Durgatesu Karyesu. Lord is performing inconceivably wonderful pastimes, displaying his energies. He is the creator, maintainer, sustainer, and annihilator of the entire material manifestation without touching it. Sixth is Yogamaishwaram. Yogamaishwaram refers to mystic power of Supreme Lord. There is no difference between Lord's mind and he himself. He is absolute spirit, invisible to a common man, but all pervading. Seventh is Yad Bhisa Vataha Pavate. It is said that due to fear of Lord, the wind is blowing, nothing can happen without Lord's wishes. Eighth is Etasya va aksharasya prasanne gargi surya chandramasau vidhartau tithatha yatasya va aksharasya prasanne gargi dhava aprathivivau vidhartau tistitaha. By supreme order, under the superintendence of Lord, the moon, the sun, and the great planets are moving. Sun is said to be an eye of Lord. It has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still, it is moving in its orbit by the order of supreme will of Lord. Atma ramasya tasyasti prakritya na samgamaha. Lord is always occupied with his eternal, blissful, and spiritual activities. He has nothing to do with the material activities. 10th is Udasinavat. Lord remains neutral in material activities. He has control over minute details, but still he is neutral. Example, a judge in a court gives his decision and solves so many cases in court, but personally he has nothing to do with it. He is unaffected. 11th is Vaismaya Nirganyena. Lord is not situated in the dualities of material world. He is transcendental to dualities in material world. He is unattached from material creation and annihilation. At the end of the millennium, Brahma's life comes to an end and the annihilation takes place. The energy manifested by Lord is wound up in himself. As per Lord's wishes, once again he expands himself in this material energy and all cosmic manifestation takes place. Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. My next question is, list 4 points defeating Mayavad philosophy with reference to Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avjananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavama jananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Supreme Lord, whenever appears on this earth, mudhas, that is, foolish men, take him to be an ordinary human being. They fail to understand Lord's transcendental nature and do not accept Lord as the Supreme. Mayavads are impersonalists and follow Advaita philosophy. Mayavads do meditate on Brahma's feature of Supreme Lord, but Mayavad's ultimate aim is not to serve Lord, but to become one with Lord. Mayavads believe Brahman. According to Mayavads, everyone in this world is Lord, surrounded by Maya. They believe in Aham Brahmasmi or Soham. They treat Lord as an ordinary human being like you and me. Supreme Lord, who has created this universe, maintains it and annihilates the entire cosmic manifestation, can never be an ordinary human being like you and me. If every living entity is God, which is beyond imagination, should we worship each other? So this point is totally baseless. Second point is the Atma, the self. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutama vasistha vasthitah sada. Bhagavatam 3.29.21. With this statement, Mayavadis stress on the point that Lord is an ordinary human being. But the actual meaning of this is Lord is Paramatma, a super soul, and a small part of Atma resides in all living entities. Minute part of me, though present in all living entities, Lord is aloof. All living entities get rewarded or punished as per their past karmas. Third, that is Maya, power of illusion. According to Mayavadis, Supreme Lord too is engulfed by Maya when he takes avatar on this earth. Supreme Lord is the controller of finite and infinite things in this universe. Nobody is superior or powerful to him. He is Hari Sarvottama. Hence, it is absolutely wrong to say that in human form, Lord is engulfed in Maya. Fourth is avidya, ignorance of truth. Mayavadi of the transcendental qualities of Lord and are unable to imagine the infinite powers of Lord, so they are also called mudhas. Difference between Paramatma and Atma. Paramatma is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of the universe. No Atma has the power to create, maintain, or annihilate. Paramatma is the divine super spirit and source of all Atmas. Atma is a minute part of Paramatma residing in material body. Paramatma is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Atmas have limitations. Paramatma is Satchitananda. He has non-material body. Atmas have a material body. Paramatma is Paribhu, the greatest of all. Atmas are minute parts of Paramatmas. Super Lord by Supreme Lord by his different manifestations of energy and by his plenary expansions, he is present everywhere in all parts of material and spiritual creations. Difference between personalist and impersonalist. Personalists believe in Dvaita philosophy. Impersonalists, that is Mayavad, they believe in Advaita philosophy. Paramatma is the source present in all living entities as per personalist. No difference between Lord and living entities as per Mayavads. Supreme Lord is above everything. Nobody can control him. He controls everything. This is the view of personalist. Maya, power of illusion, engulfs Lord when he appears in human form. This is Mayavad's view. Philosophy followed by personalist is crystal clear. Mayavads lack in knowledge, in understanding Supreme Lord, hence are also called mudhas. One can never become one with Lord, but through our devotional service, if we please Lord and get his mercy, we can reside in his abode and serve him. Devotional service as chanting, singing bhajans, hearing spiritual lectures, and worshipping Lord increases our love for Supreme Lord, and we all can be showered with Lord's mercy if he wishes to serve him in his abode. Jai Shri Krishna. Over to
Hare Krishna. Discuss 4 qualities of a Mahatma with examples from Srila Prabhupada's life. Give references to Bhagavad Gita 9.13 and 14 verses and purports in your response. Hare Krishna. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritimashritā bhajanti ananya manasa gnatva bhutadim avyayam. So one can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the quality of Mahatma. So what happens? We are all under the control of Maya right now. But once we surrender to the Lord and become devotees of the Lord, we are personally taken care by the Lord. That is, we are transferred to the Daivim Prakriti. That is under the care of Krishna's internal potency. That's the divine nature. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasta dhridavrata namasyantaschan mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So there are 4 qualities of Mahatma: determination, bowing down, chanting the glories of the Lord, and worship. Now we will see how they are all relevant to Prabhupada's life. Okay, so Prabhupada, when he was traveling to Western countries in his Jaladuta ship, he got heart attack. Okay, not just once, he got a heart attack twice. And that never stopped him, because after that 11 years that followed that, he became the spiritual master of thousands and thousands of ignorant people in the Western countries, and who had forgotten Lord, and elevated all of them, delivered all of them. And then he went around the globe 14 times, just to spread Krishna consciousness and bring out the teachings of Lord Krishna across 6 continents. Once what happened, a journalist happened to ask Prabhupada, what will happen to the movement if you die? And Prabhupada said, I will never die. So he will never die. He is alive always, eternally, through his books, through his lectures, through his teachings. And he's a Siksha Guru. That's why he's the greatest Siksha Guru. And determination, another quality, another instance is that Prabhupada used to look at everybody as parts and parcel of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once told, he was once asked, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by somebody, you are delivering people in India, what happens to Westerners? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, for that my Senapati Bhakta will come. That is his mission. I've delegated somebody else for that. And who is that? Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, that's the reason he went to Western countries and started delivering a lot of fallen souls there, just to, help them revive. Yeah, so till the last minute, he was serving the Lord. So on his deathbed also, who does that? On his deathbed also, Prabhupada was narrating purports of Bhagavatam, and his senior devotees were recording it on a dictaphone. So Prabhupada is an inspiration not just for us to live, but he teaches us how to die also. So that's why he is indeed a Mahatma. So what can better exemplify his determination in Krishna consciousness? And bowing down, Prabhupada, when he was traveling to Western countries, once wrote a poem. Okay, this is just a snippet of that poem. Oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, oh Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. What we understand from that is Prabhupada surrendered himself completely to the Lord. He understood that Lord is the master. When I am doing something, it's not I am doing something. It is the Lord who is making me do something. So he is the director. We are just actors. So he completely surrendered to the Lord, because Prabhupada is doing Krishna's mission, spreading the message of Krishna. So Krishna himself will help. And also, Prabhupada never took appreciations and never felt proud of things. So whenever somebody used to come and appreciate him for delivering their children or making them into devotees, Prabhupada used to take the appreciation and transfer it off to the lotus feet of the Lord. He used to never take any pride, or he used to never be proud of anything. So that's how a devotee has to be. And worship. So you know how ISKCON started? I think all of us know. So it started in a small storefront, a rented storefront in New York. So this was early days of Krishna consciousness. But going forward, Hare Krishna. So going forward, and in that storefront there was not even a proper deity for worship. They used to worship pictures of Krishna in the form of just to encourage deity worship. Pictures of Krishna was to be worshipped. And now if you see today, ISKCON temples are everywhere, every nook and corner of the world, and that too not so simply built. They are all lavishly built, richly built, just to just to revive our relationship back with Krishna and deliver us back to Godhead. Prabhupada took so much of initiative, and chanting the glories of the Lord. This is the fourth quality, the last quality. Prabhupada compared ISKCON to Varahadev. How Varahadev appeared? Through the nostrils of Brahma, right? So he appeared very tiny little Varahadev. He came out and then he became gigantic. He occupied the entire cosmic manifestation. So in the same way, ISKCON was started in a storefront, a very small place, and today it's the entire world, entire earth is full of ISKCON temples. So how did all this happen? It was only Prabhupada's dedication to accomplish the mission of glorifying the Lord. So when you want to serve the Lord, God will make you make way for opportunities for you to serve him. So that is the magic of devotional service. And also, he used to spend hours together doing kirtan in the parks, and people interested used to join him, and that's how his devotee community also started expanding. And and Prabhupada, as we already saw, he's alive through his books. And what was there in the book? It was only Krishna Bhakti cult, right? So that is again chanting the glories of the Lord. So these books open doors to eternal happiness for everybody, irrespective of nationality, religion, and gender. And then he authored over 70 volumes of books, including Bhagavad Gita, 30 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, 17 volumes of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in 76 languages. His books were translated into 76 languages, and also learned communities also started adopting his books as textbooks for all the colleges and courses, understanding the essence of Krishna consciousness, understanding that this is what is going to liberate us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, she is not co-host, so I don't think she's able to mute. Can somebody make her the co-host?
She can raise her hand.
Can you please raise your hand, Mataji?
Mataji, please raise your hand, Mataji.
It's Dr. Nirupama Devi.
Yeah, maybe Sarita Mataji can search with dr. You'll get it.
She's on a different this thing ID.
No,
it's her ID.
Dr. Nirupama.
Here,
It is in Dr. DN.
yeah, okay, done.
Hare Krishna. Sorry. Hare Krishna. Change Mataji slide. Hare Krishna. My question is, question 5. List the 3 groups of worshippers mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 9.15 and explain how their worship is indirect worship of Krishna. Give reference to Bhagavad Gita 9.15 to 19 in your response. Yana jaggena chapyanya jajanto mamupasate ekatvena pruthatvena bahudha vishnoto mukham. Others engaging in the yajna of cultivating knowledge worship me by many methods. Some see me as undifferentiated oneness that is non-different from them, while others see me as separate from them. Still others worship me in infinite manifestations of my cosmic form. There are 3 types of worshippers: This Jnana Yogis, those who worship the demigods, and Vishwarupa Upasana. The Jnana Yogis also worship him, but in his formless, all-pervading aspect. They are impersonalist. Their ultimate goal is to attain realization of the supreme entity as the undifferentiated Brahman, which possesses the attributes of eternality, knowledge, and bliss, but is devoid of forms, qualities, virtues, and pastime. The group of devotees who worship some form of the Supreme Lord, they are demigod worshippers. And third group is Vishwarupa Upasana, those who worship the cosmic form of the God. It is also an incomplete form of worshipping. Such devotees do not have knowledge of other aspects of the Supreme Divine Entity, such as Brahman, the God's undifferentiated, all-pervading manifestation, Paramatma, the Supreme Soul seated in everyone's heart, and Bhagavan, the personal form of the Godhead. Now, also Lord says in verse 9.16 and 17, it is I who am the Vedic ritual, I am the sacrifice, and I am the oblation offered to the ancestors. I am the medicinal herb, and I am the Vedic mantra. I am the clarified butter. I am the fire and the act of offering. Of this universe, I am the father. I am also the mother, sustainer, and the grandchild. I am the purifier, the goal of knowledge, the sacred syllable Om. I am the Rig Veda, Samveda, and Yajur Veda. But 9.18 Gatir Vitta Prabhu Shakhi Nivashaha Saranam Suhod Prabhavaha Pralayaha Sthanam Nidhanam Bijamabhyayam. Lord also says, I am the supreme goal of all living beings, and I am also their sustainer, master, witness, abode, shelter, and friend. I am the origin, end, and resting place of creation. I am the repository and eternal seed. Since the soul is a tiny part of the God, its every relationship is with him. And given the analogy of ocean and wave, we living entities are wave, and God is the ocean. So God is like the ocean, and we are like waves who have emanated from him, and again we have to merge with him. In this verse, Sri Krishna takes us above bodily consciousness and its concomitant attachment to worldly relatives. From the platform of the soul, God alone is all our relationship. He is our father, mother, sister, brother, beloved, and friend. To approach the different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna indirectly. So they only saw a step forward for realization of the Krishna. Actually, one should directly approach the Krishna. For that, we can save our time and energy. So 1.9 verse. Tapamyaha maham varsam nigruhamyota sujamicha amrutam chaiva mrityuscha sadasachaham arjuna. Lord also says, I radiate heat as the sun, and I withhold as well as send forth rain. I am immortality as well as death personified. O Arjuna, I am the spirit as well as master. God first created the universe. He manifested the firstborn Brahma and entrusted him with the work of further creation. Then God revealed knowledge unto him by giving Chatursloki Bhagavatam, on the basis of which Brahma proceeded to create the world. Sri Krishna tells Brahma, I am all that is prior to creation. I alone existed, not that creation has come about. Whatever is in the form of the manifested world is my very self. After dissolution also, I alone will exist. There is nothing apart from me. The question 6, with reference to 9.22 verse and purpose, describe Krishna's reciprocation with his devotees. Discuss the relevance of these principles in teaching and personal application. 9.22 Ananya Chintayanto Mang Je Janaha Pajupasate Tesam Nitya Vijuktanam Yogakhemam Vahamyaham. Lord says, there are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them whose mind are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they already possess. So God is so merciful. He will not take out anything from us. He will give whatever we don't have. So this is the principle of learning Krishna consciousness. God is so merciful. We should keep firm to the Lord. He will fulfill whatever we don't have. God always resides inside our heart. We should worship Him always with pure mind and full devotion. Hare Krishna. The only desire of a devotee is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this is called yoga. The khema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. When a devotee becomes fully Krishna consciousness, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable conditioned soul. Hare Krishna. This is the preaching application. The knowing the meaning, magnitude of our eternal relationship with God, we must endeavor to attach our mind to Him alone. Then the mind will be purified and we will be able to fulfill our this Mamekam Saranam Braja, a complete surrender which is necessary for receiving God's grace. To achieve this single-mindedness, we must cut all the present attachments of the mind and replace them with attachment to God. We should be attached our mind to the God. To cut all the strings of worldly attachment of your mind. Make a rope of these strings and tie it at the lotus feet of God. Sri Krishna here explains to Arjuna that the soul's every relationship is with God alone. So we have to tie our mind to the lotus feet of the God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Question 7. Points relevant for preaching from Krishna's evaluation of demigod worship. Give reference to Bhagavad Gita 9.20 to 25 verses and purpose in your response. Let me answer this question under some headings from the relevant verses. Who are demigods? The demigods are different officers and directors in the government of Supreme Lord, but one has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Therefore, everyone has to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord, which automatically satisfies the different officers and directors of the Lord. Even all the yajnas are offered to Vishnu indirectly, means worshipping Krishna indirectly, as Krishna is the beneficiary of all yajnas. To offer bribe to the officers is illegal. This is stated as Avidhi Purvakam. Similarly, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. How does one worship demigods? People study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, but somehow they worship Krishna indirectly. Result of it is their sinful reactions are purified. They take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Trividya, it refers to three Vedas. A Brahmana who has studied these three Vedas is called a Trivedi. Lord Krishna here declares that his ultimate goal of the Trivedis, actually Trivedi's devotional service, begins with the chanting of Mahamantra. Now, fate of demigod worshippers. In the higher planetary systems, they enjoy a longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment, but they are not allowed to stay there forever. One is sent back to this earth upon finishing the resultant fruits of pious activities. Vedanta Sutra also says, Janmadi asya yataha. One who fails to understand Krishna becomes baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life. They are subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets and then coming down, or they simply revolve in the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, one should better take the path of spiritual world to enjoy an eternal life full of bliss and knowledge and never return to this miserable material existence. Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter 22 verse says, here the Lord's final verdict is, those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. This verse, the last portion of the verse, Yogakshema Vahamiham, reminds me the story of Arjunacharya. When the Brahmana Arjunacharya was writing his commentary on the Gita, he saw this verse and thought it a mistake to believe that the Lord would personally carry whatever was needed to each devotee. He therefore scratched the word Vahami and inserted Karomi. Arjunacharya was extremely poor. After making the change, went out for begging as he did every day. When he had gone, his wife heard a knock at the door. Two beautiful boys fearfully insisted her to quickly accept the food that her husband had forced them to bring. They were anxious to get away from the house because they told her that the great Brahmana scholar Arjunacharya would probably beat them again. Arjunacharya's wife could not believe this. One of the boys showed the marks on his back and then he said, "See the marks which Arjunacharya has beaten me." The lady was bewildered and she began to cook the food and eat the food the boys had brought. When Arjunacharya came back, he was shocked to see his wife eating, which he had never done before, without serving him first. When he asked, she replied, "Why have you acted so cruelly with those two boys? They told me everything and they left so much food here and they left the house." Arjunacharya, hearing that a beautiful darkish complexioned boy and the other boy, he could understand that his fortunate wife had been blessed with the darshan of Krishna and Balarama. The beating marks on the back of dark boy was the result of Acharya's having scratched out the word Vahami. Acharya understood that Krishna had been forced to come personally to prove the truth of his words, "I carry what they lack." A devotee's desire is to achieve the association of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does not live even for a moment without Krishna consciousness, always thinks of Krishna, engages in devotional service in Navavidha Bhakti. These activities are auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, which is yoga. Even the word Kshema says, merciful protection of the Lord. By the mercy of the Lord, a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. In the verse 24, the Lord says, Aham hi sarva yagnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Lord Krishna is the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize his true transcendental nature, they fall down and do not achieve the goal of life. Bhagavad Gita verse 25 gives us clearly the destination of different type of worshippers. Darshana Purnamasa. One can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose. Those who worship demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will definitely take birth among such beings. These are explained in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas even. Ultimately, those who worship Krishna will live with him. Unfortunately, many people do not have any information of the sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live, and hence they fall down. Even the impersonalists, they fall down from Brahmajyoti level as they do not worship Krishna. Hence, let us worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting the Maha Mantra. That is the direct way to live with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Question number 8. Explain in your own words how Krishna Bhakti can be easily performed with reference to Bhagavad Gita 9.26 verse and purport. First, we will see what is Krishna Bhakti. It is essentially being in Krishna consciousness and engaging oneself in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. Why should one engage in Krishna Bhakti? In order to achieve a blissful abode for eternal happiness and to reach the highest perfection of life, one should engage in Krishna Bhakti. Now we will see how to easily perform Krishna Bhakti step by step. How to approach Krishna and what is the qualification required? Bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. What Krishna expects from a devotee? Krishna expects nothing but unconditional pure love from the devotee. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to accept anything from anyone. Krishna expects only loving service and nothing more. Hare Krishna. What should we offer Krishna? Krishna says, I will accept even if you offer me a leaf, fruit, flower, or water. So one should understand and offer what the Lord desires. One should offer proper food of human beings like vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water, as prescribed by the Supreme Lord himself. One cannot offer eggs, fish, meat, which is not desired by Krishna, and he will not accept it. Basically, one should understand that Krishna is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient, and yet he accepts the offerings in exchange of love and affection. How should we offer Krishna? The most important element, one should prepare, serve, and offer with absolute love for Krishna as a pure devotee. Every offering should be made with attitude of love. Hare Krishna. From whom Krishna accepts the offerings? Krishna accepts the offerings only from a devotee who offers with love and devotion. He does not accept offerings from a non-devotee. No other condition, such as becoming a Brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Why should one offer sacrifice to Krishna before consumption? In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 13th verse, Lord Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption. When one eats the remains after offering, it purifies the body and creates fine brain tissues, which will lead to clear thinking. So one should prepare nice, simple vegetable dishes and offer them to Krishna by bowing down and praying to accept such a humble offering. And one, by eating the remnants of the offering, advances in life and gets released from the clutches of material bondage. Krishna also says, those who do not make an offering of their food are eating only sin and simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of the material nature. Hare Krishna. Conclusion. I hereby conclude by reading the text 9.26, in which Krishna says how Krishna Bhakti can be easily performed. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti upahritam asnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I'll accept it. Finally, my understanding, if one wants to please and satisfy Krishna, he should prepare dishes with genuine love as the main ingredient and serve and offer him with absolute pure devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Question number 9 is, explain Srila Rupa Goswami's principle of Yukta Vairagya with reference to Bhagavad Gita 9.27 and 28 verses and purports. Discuss the relevance of this principle for the future of the Krishna consciousness movement. What is Yukta Vairagya? Everyone has to work for maintenance of body and soul together, and one has to act in Krishna consciousness under the superior direction is called Yukta. This indicates that one must execute devotional service under the guidance of superior devotee or directly under the guidance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not possible, however, to train oneself without guidance of the spiritual master. Therefore, according to the instructions of Srila Rupa Goswami, the first business of a devotee is to accept a bona fide spiritual master who can train him to engage his various senses in rendering transcendental senses to the Lord. Hare Krishna. This technical term, Yukta Vairagya, is very well explained by Srila Rupa Goswami. He says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. Now, how this principle of Yukta Vairagya is relevant in the future of Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Yukta Vairagya is superior to its opposite Falgu Vairagya or artificial renunciation. If one renounces anything which could be applied in the service of the Lord and does not use it for the purpose, that is called Falgu Vairagya. And the word Markata Vairagya is used to represent those sannyasis who dress themselves in orange clothes, carry a bead bag and chant, but actually they are very busy in enjoying sense gratification. In Srimad Bhagavatam 4.29.55, it is given that one shouldn't be attached to material opulence, but material opulence may be accepted in Krishna consciousness movement to facilitate the propagation of the movement. In other words, material opulence may be accepted as Yukta Vairagya, that is for renunciation. Here, Srila Prabhupada demonstrated this principle effectively through the use of a dictaphone, a voice recording machine that he used it to write his books. He would record his translation and purports, and his disciples would transcribe the recording into text. Although normally a dictaphone might be seen as something material,
By using it in the service of God, Prabhupada was able to spiritualize it and use it to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. In Bhagavad Gita 8.6, it is explained, Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tajate ante kalivaram. It means everything is examined at the time of death. Although the body is temporary, not eternal, one can take best service and make one's life perfect. In Srimad Bhagavatam 8.19.39, Vaishnava philosophy also recommends the same. It is not that all attention should be diverted from the maintenance of body, but at the same time, one's bodily maintenance should not be neglected. As long as the body exists, one can thoroughly study the Vedic instructions, and thus, at the end of life, one can achieve perfection. Here we can take the example of Maharaj Amrish from Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4. Maharaj Amrish was the emperor of the entire world. He was the most powerful and celebrated devotee. He considered his opulence temporary, as it is the cause of downfall into the conditional life. He performed devotional service with great opulence. He engaged his senses and mind in the service of the Lord. Like Maharaj Amrish used his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his ears in hearing the words spoken by the Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his sense of smelling in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Maharaj Amrish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He not even desired liberation. At the end, I want to say, sannyasi is not one who puts on orange clothes and resides in secluded place. In fact, sannyasi is one who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord. In this age, people are not going to search out a saint in the forest. So the saint and sages have to come to the cities and town to make arrangements to receive the people in journal who are accustomed to the modern amenities of the material life. Gradually, they will realize real necessity is to become free from material bondage in whatever way possible. Hare Krishna. Question number 10.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna is, I can see the question. Is it visible?
Wait, Mataji, the sharing has stopped. Just wait a moment.
What happened?
Her sharing screen stopped.
Just reshare, Prabhuji, Mataji.
Sarita Mataji, I think you
You're
transferred the.
muted.
You're not a host. I'll make you co-host once again. You had some network issue. Can you unmute Mataji?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. I'll share it again. Sorry.
Yes, no problem.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Next question. Number 10. Thank you, Mataji. Question number 10. Explain the reciprocatory nature to reference to Bhagavad Gita 9.29 verse and purport. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maitateshu chapyaham. In first line of this shloka, Lord says, I am neutral. God is impartial. If someone does good acts, he or she gets good result. If someone does bad acts, he or she gets bad result. It is not that someone is suffering because of God. He is suffering his own activity. Here, Srila Prabhupada gives an example of High Court. If a person is ordered by the High Court to be condemned to death, it doesn't mean High Court justice is the enemy of that particular person. That person has created such situation that he is condemned to death. The High Court is not responsible for that. Hare Krishna. Verse in second line, Krishna says, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maitatesu chapte aham. Anyone who is in devotional service and Krishna consciousness, he always remain with me, and I am also with him. The Lord here distinctly says, Maite means they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotee are conscious. Real love is described by Lord Chaitanya. My Lord Krishna, you embrace me or trample me down at your feet. Whatever you like, you can do. And you make me broken-hearted. But by not being present before me, I'm broken-hearted, but I still continue to love you. I cannot detract myself from this love. This is pure love. One who is entrapped in such love affairs with God, God is also thinking in that way. This is reciprocation. Although God is neutral, but he cannot deviate himself from his devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes a devotee of the devotees. This is the Lord's special mercy to his devotees. This reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service of the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of the spiritual world, where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I don't know why the network issues are there. Question number 11. Discuss appropriate and inappropriate application of Krishna's statement in 9.30 to 9.31 with reference to 9.31 verse and purport. Now, the devotees become helpless by the will of the Lord is more fortunate than those who are born in good families. The fallen devotee born in a good family may forget the lotus feet of the Lord because they are less fortunate. But the devotee who is put into the forlorn condition is more fortunate because he swiftly returns to the lotus feet of the Lord, thinking himself helpless all around. This is the essence of actually the shloka. Now, what is this? The material world. This world is a democracy of miseries. It happens also in real life. Now, sometimes even a person is totally engrossed into Krishna consciousness, but there are some tough times when they come. The tendency of a person has to think of first of the material life, and then wants to fix up the material life first issues, and then thinks of coming back to Krishna consciousness. Now, this problem, even Krishna has said that this is a dukhalyam ashashvatam. Now, we think that everybody can be subject to miseries, and what at that time we think is what are we going to live with? But in fact, we should at that time think that why do we live, and what is the aim of our life? It's not only for material satisfaction. Our aim of the life is actually for Krishna consciousness. I live for developing love for Krishna. I live for giving pleasure to Krishna. And if we focus on this Krishna, he will only take care of us. We don't have to bother for that. Now, these are the shlokas which have been mentioned before. So I will, because of the time restraint, I'll just skip them because maybe not so relevant for this. Now, there are two things. What to explain is the Krishna thinks us to be partially impartial. Now, the partially impartial means he's impartial. It's the same story as what has happened if you recollect of the Rama's pastime, that when Vibhishan came to him, Rama accepted him and told him that he's a Lankapati. Now, the devotees were very shocked to hear the word of Lankapati because Ravan was a Lankapati, but it was a Satya Sankalpa. When Lord says it comes out true. Then the devotees asked Lord Rama that what are you going to do if by chance in a remotest of situation when it's not possible, but if Ravan comes and surrenders to you, what are you going to do? Give him. Then he said that I'll give him Ayodhya. Then the devotees asked them, where will Bharat go? Lord Bharat doesn't want to leave Ayodhya. So Lord Rama told him that he will be giving him Vaikuntha. So the devotees asked them, Prabhu, where are you going to stay? So Lord Rama said, I don't want to stay, I just want to serve all of them. So that is what is the humility and what is the devotion, how the reciprocation of Lord is. Impartial, Krishna is impartial because he gives shelters to anyone who comes to him. Even he will shelter Ravana if he gives his surrenders to him. He's partial because once you surrender to Krishna, then he will be very loyal to you. He'll give you a lot of love and a lot of partiality. Now, this is the way Krishna reciprocates. Now, what is appropriate and inappropriate from the point of most confidential knowledge in this shloka? Now, it is said that let's try to find out a few aspects, which is Durachara and Sudurachara. What is Durachara? Is an abominable action who does, and Sudurachara is committing the most abominable action. So, in this, it is said as Sudurachara. Now, There are two conditioned states in which the human being can stay in the conditioned situation. One is the conditional situation and one is the constitutional. The conditional will be, supposing a woman gets up in the morning, she sees the ward, goes to the kitchen, cooks the food and makes it as a duty of the mother. Then after that, she goes to the hospital or she goes to her work, handles the staff, professional and works and a professional and an administrator. Then she comes home, teaches the children, she becomes a teacher, then she becomes a guest when there are hosts at home, then she manages the organizer, she's a financer in the house, and then the husband then socializes and affectionate and then gives dinner. So this is a condition which every minute the situation is changing and our role is changing. In contrast to what is a constitutional, that she gets up in the morning, prays and she chants, and then she does her work, does a little kirtan, and then she goes and then bows before Krishna's picture or deity, and then she does her work, but she prepares prasadam. She goes on whispering Krishna's name, goes to work, remembering Krishna on the way, and even coming back home when she goes for a walk, she instigates other people to follow the Krishna consciousness. Now, this is a constitutional duty of ours, which is non-changeable. We have to follow it day in and day out. Similar situation of the water. In the three states, it can be solid, liquid and gas, and at the same as the condition changes, the water changes. Sometimes the devotional condition is parallel to the conditional situation, but otherwise devotional is always mostly opposite to the conditional situation, conditional service. Let's approach this question from few of the questions and try to understand what is abominable activity, activity worthy of causing disgust and hatred. It is detestable activity. What is the outcome? If a person is in Krishna consciousness, then temporarily he will fall down, but that does not disqualify him. Why it happens? It happens because of the material contamination. What does a devotee do? Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. And what are these people labeled as? They are called as sadhureva. He is actually still a saintly. What is the warning for non-devotees? Please do not laugh at them. Please do not deride at them, because they are a single time fall down and they'll be back to the normal Krishna consciousness. Now, a quality of a devotee is unflinching and exclusively devotional service. Now, what is the analogy given? It is the analogy given of like there's a rabbit spot on the moon. Similarly, this is once it has happened, but it doesn't. If the moonlight is not affected with that, so that's why the accidentally once if it falls down, then his by abominable activity, his Krishna consciousness is not affected. Then what is Krishna trying to convey to us here? That cannot repeat such fall downs, and devotional service is a war against the illusionary service. So what we have to be, it is fight the illusory service, and you have to be strong and just follow Krishna consciousness. Now, if it's the same like a student once in a while, if he fails, he's pardoned. But if he's a regular offender and does not attend classes or does not go to the classes, and then those are the ones which will not be resisted. The misinterpretation can be, then some people say that, okay, we can fall down again and again, but that is not allowed. It is against the miscreants, which is given in the chapter 7, that those who are dushkritinas, they will not be following Krishna consciousness and are not involved in it, in compared to these people who once fall down, but they cannot be put at the same platform. This is it's not debatable, and isn't it debatable? But no, the Supreme Personality within what happens is the people who are a devotee, they are engaged in the process of cleansing all material contamination of the heart. They put Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. All sinful contaminations are naturally washed away. Continuously think of Supreme Lord, pure by nature, already has purifying process in the heart. So chanting the Maha Mantra protects from fall downs. This is because you can understand that why he gave this to Arjuna to explain, because Krishna at one time he loves his devotee so much that he forgets his promise also. And that had happened when the story of Bhishma Pitama, when he picked up when Bhishma Pitama was about to kill Arjuna, he picked up the wheel of a broken chariot, and he broke his promise to because he loves his devotee beyond that. So beyond par, and that is why he told Arjun to declare it. He said, Prati Janahi, that Arjun should go and declare that he is the devotees who fall down can be picked up. So this is, he's chosen Arjuna as his voice. So persons who smell the aroma of the Lord Krishna's lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ears, accepts Krishna devotional service, the Lord is never separated from him. Now the question 12 is, discuss the significance of principle drawn from 9.3 to from 3.3 from the explanation of Krishna's consciousness movement. Give reference to 9.32 and 9.33 verses, purpose, and in your response. Now, this is a debatable verse. Lots of time queries have arisen for this verse, where people feel it in the different ways that this verse can be interpreted actually in the two forms, because here it tells about the women, the Vaishya, merchants and businessmen, Sudras and Papa Yona, born in a lower family or in a form of a dog eater. They can working in cremation. Now, these other people also can surrender. So people think that these have been secluded separately, and why have they been mentioned separately? Now, if we see in a different form, we can see that we can use the word like untouchable these days. Now they're called that Harijans. If we use that word, doesn't mean that we are promoting that word. It is not that sometimes it is for refuting also we use the word, and that is why it has been used in these words have been used in this verse. So that that time during the Vedic ages, there was no divisiveness. There was later the transformation and happened. So if we use the word, doesn't mean that we are promoting that word or we are promoting in that form. It can be that we are refuting it and we are trying to give them more importance. So Krishna tries to get rid of these words. He's refuting them, and he has to use these words as which may not be should not be misinterpreted. Now, in fact, in 10.34, Krishna tries to praise the females. He said, among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. In fact, he's praising the women and not the men. So that is not that he is against these four group of people. Now, Krishna also, now another way of explaining is why this has been mentioned here in this verse, because Krishna tells about accidental fall down. He tells about people, in the previous shloka, he told about people who had accidentally fall down from the devotional service. Now, that's why he evokes this controversy here. And actually the Varnas are into four groups: the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. Now, what happened that time, that there were Gurukuls where Brahmanas and Kshatriyas used to go to Gurukul, or in other words, there a certain portion of their life was meant for cultivating the transcendental knowledge or cultivating self-realization. So what happened, Vaishya and Shudras, because of the time restraint and for the work and for their disposition, they had, first of all, no time to go them. And secondly, for the females, there was no istri this was only related to transcendental knowledge. It was not related to any other discrimination. So now there was no female gurukuls that time. ISKCON has its biggest weapon and biggest success from Srila Prabhupada, because he introduced the females into the ISKCON society. Now, Prabhupada said that all the mutts had failed, and he said the female disciples are making ISKCON a big success. Bhakti Yoga actually is easily affable and accessible to anyone. It interprets how much opportunity and disposition or dedication one has, time they have for such knowledge. This was in the Vedic times, not now. These days, there are more Matajis than Prabhujis. And Prabhupada says that this will always be the case, as the females have a natural instinct to serve, and that's why they can serve Krishna much better. So, but he does not disfavor the females. So in this, in ISKCON, there can be, the females can be Brahmanas also. We are there here due to Srila Prabhupada only. So coming to this temporary miserable, actually what is mentioned here, it is an Antyam Asukham Lokam. It is similar to what is called as Dukhalya Ashashvatam. We see the comparison, the spiritual world is Nityam, it is eternal. The material world is Anityam, temporary and false. Spiritual world is Sukham, totally blissful. Material world is Asukham, miserable. Here they say this is temporary, it's not false, but it is only a temporary world here. So it is called as Anityam. Now, what has happened in ISKCON by accepting women? Now, we want to see how the implication of this verse has been done in ISKCON. By accepting women in the temples and giving them the brahmacharini status, Prabhupada was not pretending. He gave them all the same rights and duties of the brahmacharis in the Guru's ashram. The same thing applied when he gave them Brahman initiation. The women devotees had exactly the same spiritual activity, the same task, the same possibilities to progress spiritually, and they were entitled to the same respect. At that time, everything was done according to the abilities and the spiritual advancement of a person and not according to sex. Prabhupada did not make any distinction. Prabhupada followed this reasoning concerning not only the acceptation of the women in the ashramas, but also lots of other subject matters, such as the practice of renunciation also. He also followed what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, his unique contribution. No one is to be excluded from the Sankirtan movement, regardless of gender, race, religion, age, social status, or any material distinction. Equality and equal treatment often pushed by his male disciples to minimize ISKCON. See, people used to revolt Srila Prabhupada, then he gave the explanation, that example, that to the male devotees, that you dance, she dances, you sing, she sings, you cook, she cooks, then what is the difference? Why can't they be becoming the elevated devotees? So in our Vedic times also, there were great devotees, females like Kunti Mata, Draupadi Devi, and Yashoda Maya, and many others whose glories are described in the Vedic literature. Similarly, one of the most advanced devotees in our present Krishna consciousness movement are women, and they are all respected and appreciated for their spiritual advancement. Finally, to say, the first step in spiritual understanding is to transcend the bodily concept of life. This is only female and male. What I understand is it is only the worldly manifestation. To think I am a man or I am a woman is to be an illusion. The body is a material dress for the soul, a dress that's changing from moment to moment as the body develops, and will change entirely at death. But the constant within the body is the soul, which is not subject to any of these changes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Identify and explain in your own words the principles of pure devotional service with reference to specific Sanskrit verses and Prabhupada's purpose from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. Devotional service. Devotional, what is devotional service? It is a loving service. Devotional service means serving Lord Krishna with pure unalloyed devotion. Therefore, this is also called the most confidential knowledge. Service that occurs naturally out of love without anybody forcing one to do so, like a mother caring for her child or a loving wife caring for her husband. Pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, that is Bhakti Yoga, is the highest and the most expedient means for attaining pure love of Krishna, which is the highest end of spiritual existence. By performing devotional service, we can awaken our dormant love for Krishna. It is not artificial imposition or making up emotions forcefully. The love of Godhead is already there within everyone, but it has to be awakened by practicing spiritual process, which cleanses the consciousness of all the material contamination, like three modes, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamaguna. Without devotional practice, one enters into three gates of hell, like lust, greed, and anger. Hare Krishna. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that one who has a sincere desire to render loving service to the Supreme Lord is situated in the conditional state of material existence, and he is to be considered liberated. A symptom of pure devotee is that he engages himself constantly in chanting, hearing, reading books about Krishna, cooking prasadam, going to marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, washing the temples, dishes. He does not let even a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such an action is in full samadhi. There are 9 ways to perform devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarnam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmaniveditam. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies which make the devotee perfect in self-realization. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. By the mercy of Lord, such devotees never come back to the material condition of life. Hare Krishna. Different people appreciate Krishna in different ways according to their level of devotional consciousness. Sri Krishna form is fully spiritual, beyond a doubt. One who derides Lord Krishna is doomed to failure in all respects. One who accepts Krishna's true position and acts accordingly is a great soul. By surrendering to the Lord, the Mahatmas are placed under his divine nature. This Devi Prakriti is the internal potency that facilitates their service to the Lord. The Mahatmas are fixed in their devotional service. They serve Lord Krishna with steady vows. Those who approach the Supreme without fully knowing Krishna worship him indirectly. Worship of Lord Krishna is superior to the worship of demigods. Worship of the demigods is ultimately futile because its results, that is elevation to the heavenly planet, is only temporary heaven from suffering. One will inevitably fall down again to the earthly regions. Now, bhakti is superior because the Lord takes personal interest in the spiritual refinement of the devotee. Krishna sees that the devotees sees to the devotee's needs, provides protection for his spiritual advancement. Worship of demigods is indirect worship of Krishna. The demigods are not independent from the Lord. They are deputed agents of the Supreme Lord. Krishna explains that those who do not recognize his nature as the supreme transcendental enjoyer always fall down. That is because they remain on the material plane in the cycle of higher and lower material birth where no position is secure. The best way to begin devotional service is to try to offer everything that you do to Krishna. Offer food to Lord before eating, offer results of your work to Lord Krishna, offer your skills to Krishna. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction in the heart that Krishna is supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds and thousands of temples in India with the worship for the worship of Krishna, and devotional services practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower one's head before the deity and engage his mind, body, and his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. And this will help one transfer to the Krishna Loka. Hare Krishna. My next question is, choose verses and sections from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, you feel have particularly enhanced your appreciation in the path of bhakti. Krishna consciousness is the most confidential knowledge. This secret is directly revealed in this verse by Lord himself. This is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. And this is stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.34. Manmanabhav madbhakto madhyadi mama namaskuru mame vashi yukvaivam atmanam matparayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me and become my devotee. Offer obeisances, worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come back to me. Human life is meant for executing the orders of the Supreme Lord, and this is stated in Bhagavad Gita. In 9.34, Krishna is more like a teacher, revealing the secrets to his devotees and devotees only. Only devotees can understand, not an ordinary person. Lord says himself in this verse that all devotional service should be offered to him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, because one who is engaged in me will always come back to me. The most essential quality of bhakti is that Lord personally reciprocates with his devotees, bringing them closer to him, which we have seen in all the previous examples given by other devotees. The 5 secrets to be a bhakta is: develop devotion to Krishna, make Krishna as your ultimate goal, do not lose sight of Krishna as a goal, convert every moment of your life into purificatory exercise, and always surrender to Lord and do everything with Lord's blessing. All these 5 conditions are fulfilled. If all of them are fulfilled, Shri Krishna says, engaging yourself in me, you will certainly attain me alone in this life. Understanding the truth about Krishna and his devotees, one should absorb himself in Krishna consciousness. The Lord wants every living entity to always think about him, to be his devotee and always worship him. Most confidential knowledge is that Krishna takes personal interest in his devotee's life. This intimate relationship is the essential understanding presented in Gita. Understanding it naturally leads one to take the path of Krishna consciousness. One should be thinking of Krishna and cultivate the knowledge continually in devotional love. This is bhakti. Krishna is not ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, mind, he himself are one and absolute. Yoga necessitates controlling the senses, and bhakti yoga or the Krishna consciousness is the process of purifying the senses. When the senses are purified, they are automatically controlled. One cannot stop activities of the senses by artificial means. But if one purifies, the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. The senses can be controlled from rubbish engagements. Krishna consciousness is not therefore manufactured concoction or speculative mind. It is the process enjoined in Bhagavad Gita. One should engage his mind in the eternal form, the primeval form of Krishna, with conviction in the heart that Krishna is supreme. He should engage himself in worship. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be perfect, saintly person. His accidental, non-devotional activities will diminish and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. My understanding is, I have experienced that devotional service has really enhanced my bhakti. I start my day with reading Bhagavatam and doing Kirtan, and then during the day I engage myself in listening to Prabhupada's lectures, reading his books, chanting Mahamantra, offering Prashadam, and associating with other devotees, Sadhu Sangha, which keeps me connected to Krishna. These devotional practices have increased my own understanding of Krishna and brought me closer to Krishna. I pray to Krishna to bestow his mercy on all of us and help all of us to advance in Krishna consciousness to his abode of Krishna Lok, Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Thank you all for the beautiful presentation. I would like to thank Srila Prabhupada and beloved teachers Namanishta Das Prabhuji, Dr. Aishwarya Devi Dasi Mataji, and Dr. Prem Kishori Devi Dasi Mataji for guiding us on this spiritual path. My humble obeisances to Sri Radha Govinda and all Guru Parampara for this wonderful opportunity. Apologies for the inconvenience caused. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, very nice presentation. Brilliantly done.
Apologies for the network issues.
That's okay. It keeps happening. Okay. Okay, so really happy to know that the whole team came on screen and it was very nice. nicely presented. Very important chapter also, chapter 9. And I think you did justice to all the questions. And time, Prabhu, Murli Prabhu, was the time?
75 minutes, including the interruptions, for 14 questions.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, Pradosh Prabhu. Pradosh Prabhu, we have Murli Prabhu also in the 16 round chanters team now. Okay, is he there? Pradosh Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so from 8 he's jumped to 16. That's a nice, no? That's nice improvement. Okay, so here everything you've completely fixed on the devotee worship and how all the slokas. I think everything has been given nice justice. And about Srila Prabhupada also, that Jaladuta prayers also explained very nicely. And Rakshita Mataji, it was like a new information that Prabhupada says ISKCON is like Varahadev, came small and became big. I didn't know that, but it's very nice that how Prabhupada compared to everything with Krishna, everything with Krishna. That's how a pure devotee is. So very nicely done. And the Jaladuta prayers, if you can just go through that, the meaning of the prayers, so touching. Where Prabhupada says, I don't have any devotion. Who's saying? A pure devotee is saying, no? Bhakti nahi, beda nahi, name khub taro, bhakti vedanta nama, eve satako. So I don't have bhakti, I don't have knowledge, but I've given the title Bhakti Vedanta. So, and I have unflinching faith on your holy name, Name Kubadaro. So I think that's what we should have. So much faith, on unflinching faith in the holy name. And Prabhupada says, I'm a puppet in your hand. So it's so much humility. Prabhupada mentions that prayers. I think everything has been covered here brilliantly, and we have taken all the aspects of the chapter. So yes, Murli Prabhu, any comments?
This team has been very, very hardworking in their group activities.
Yes.
And 14 people making presentations is amazing. Congratulations to the whole team. And thanks to Sunita Mataji for inviting me into their group to review the timings. I don't know if I have hurt anybody by being a little curt in saying, I think you should bring down the timings. And they have done it amazingly from last 9 p.m. till this morning. It has been reset with time management. That has been very